Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to give you guys a quick guide to fall 22. So I recently made a video about a quick guide to spring 22 and you guys asked for the same fall version. So this is going to be that video, okay? I'm going to give you a quick guideline of when you need to take the exams, when are going to be the deadlines, when you need to write your SOPs and all that, okay? So if you guys are applying to spring 22, again, I'm going to leave a link to that video in the description. So if you guys want to go check that out, you can. But this video, we're going to focus on fall 22. Okay, so first what we're going to do is we're going to split this analysis into Masters and PhD and MIM and MBA and all those management programs, okay, because the timeline varies slightly, right? So first let's begin with the Masters and PhD timeline, right? So if you're applying to a Masters and PhD program, then you should try to take your GRE by September, okay? Now hear me out, there's a specific reason why this should be done. So if you take your GRE, TOEFL, IELTS, whatever you need to take by September, then you spend the next 2 months, October and November, focusing on your SOPs, your letters of recommendation, writing your resume, answering any other essay questions that the university asks you to, retaking the exams if necessary, and so on. So there's a lot to do, right? And of course, you have to shortlist the universities as well. So this is when you're going to be doing all of that, okay? So once you do all that, then when December rolls around, that's when the first university deadlines start to pop up. So especially if you guys are applying to your dream universities, you know, like say Stanford, MIT, Harvard and stuff, those guys will generally have deadlines as early as possible. They'll have deadlines, you know, in December and stuff, okay? So if you're applying to your dream universities, you need to be ready to finish that application by December. So if you take the GRE in September, spend the next 2 months, you know, if you need to retake the exams, you retake those exams, you write your SOPs, shortlist and everything so that you're ready for the December deadlines, okay? So now there is something you need to know about deadlines. So the first deadlines for fall 22 will of course be in December. I think Stanford is like the first week of December. And then for other universities, it'll actually roll around to, you know, December, January and February, sometimes even March, okay? Generally what happens is the better the rank of the university, the earlier the deadline is, okay? And this is specifically applicable to US and Canadian universities. So that's why the top universities in the US, their deadlines will be like early January or early December, stuff like that, okay? Now if you're applying to Canada or Australia or basically like European countries and stuff, then you'll see that the deadlines are a little bit later, okay? So deadlines can be in February or even March. Like some Australian universities and stuff, deadlines will be in March, okay? So if you are applying to those universities, of course, then your deadlines will be by then. But if you're applying to the top universities, your deadlines will be around December. So my advice to you guys is, if you guys have a couple target universities, try to figure out what is the earliest deadline possible and then sort of take your exams and, you know, prepare your SOP according to that deadline. Right, so for most of you guys, your earliest deadlines are going to be in December for the top universities. And so I'm telling you to take your exam in September and then finish your SOPs and stuff in October and November and then apply in December. Okay, and one more thing that you guys should know is about the GRE waivers for fall 22. So as of recording this video, it's still way too early for us to predict whether the GRE will be waived for fall 22 or not. But based off of what happened in fall 21, I have something that I think might be able to help you guys, okay? So when the GRE was waived in fall 21, not all universities waived it exactly the same, right? So they had different language points. So for example, some universities said that the GRE will not even be considered as a part of the admission process. Some universities said that the GRE is optional, some said that it's recommended, and just a few said that it's, you know, entirely required and, you know, we don't accept applications without it, okay? So my recommendation to you guys is that if a university, you know, when you're applying for fall 22, if a university says that it's optional, recommended, or obviously required, then you guys take the GRE, okay? The reason why is if you have a lot of time before, you know, the fall 22 deadlines and you have the time on your hands to be able to study for the GRE and get a good score and all of that, right? Then taking the GRE and getting a good score is actually going to help you improve your profile and improve your chances of getting an admit into college. So if you have the time before the deadline to be able to study well for the GRE and get a good score, then I highly recommend that you guys do it regardless of what happens in fall 22. In fall 22, the chances of the GRE being waived entirely is less likely than it was in fall 21, but we can't really predict it. But I recommend that you guys take the GRE anyway if you do have the time to do so. I just want to quickly remind you guys to subscribe to the channel because we have a ton of graduate program related information on our channel every week. Okay, so let's get to the MBA and MIM related deadlines, right? So generally all these management related programs, how they work is it's a round based deadline. Okay, so what that means is you'll have multiple rounds of applications for the same intake. So for fall 22, you'll have sometimes 4 rounds, but mostly 3 rounds, right? So 3 rounds is like the norm, sometimes 4 rounds as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys a timeline for round 1. So the rule of thumb when you apply to these round-based deadlines is that you have to apply in the earliest round possible, because that's going to be when the most seats are available, so you want to be able to compete for those seats, okay? Some universities will also allow you to apply for a later round if you get rejected in the initial rounds and all that kind of stuff. So for all of those things, you want to make sure you're applying as early as you can. Okay, so let's say you are applying to round 1, right? So generally round 1 deadlines will be in September or October, around that time. All right, so what you want to do is you want to make sure that you take the GRE, GMAT, TOEFL, IELTS, whatever you need to, take it by July. All right, so if you take it during July, then you'll have like a little bit of July plus the entirety of August plus a lot of September to work on your SOPs, your resumes, your letters of recommendation, shortlisting, and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so if you finish your GRE by July, then you spend around a month, month and a half, 2 months working on your SOPs and college essays, recommendations, everything. And then you apply for round 1 in September or like early October. Okay, and then you start to get your results by November and so on. Right, so that's what you do for round 1. Let's say you guys are not applying to round 1, maybe you're applying to round 2, round 3, round 4. So generally what happens is round 2 deadlines will be around November, maybe a little bit before, maybe afterwards. Round 3 deadlines will be around say January or February, and then round 4 deadlines will be like some March or something. So that's like the very end. You really don't want to apply to round 4 unless you absolutely have to. Okay, so if you are applying to a later round, say round 2 or round 3 and so on, then you want to make sure that you're taking your exams at least 1.5 months before the round deadline, so that you have enough time for a retake and you can write all your essays and so on, right? So don't leave everything until the last minute. Make sure you give yourself sufficient time to finish the rest of your application as well. Okay, so that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you enjoyed, leave a like, and if you loved it, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.